to Street Scene Power Hour. We're here to waste your day, and we are wasting our time, right? Yeah, that's true. Especially we're wasting time with Rick Guerrera and Larry Ward.
Big waste of time.
Yeah,
Big waste of time. Yes.
My name is Greg Roten. Street Scene Power Hour. We're at episode like 44, I think this one is. So
yeah, hey, we're getting there, aren't we?
Yeah, we're going to hit 50, and then we're going to hopefully go above that. And maybe we'll have to think of something special for our 50th episode.
Yeah.
But we could
do it from Barry Dingles.
Yeah, we should do it live. We should do it somewhere else. So
yeah, Barry Dingles.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
all Rick.
See, I was going to say Penguin Brewing downtown. That would be a good one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're welcome to have guest Al Navecki. We're welcome to have you. We're going to have another guest coming soon. We're hopefully going to have John Kufleitner. So he'll join us in progress. But Al, welcome to Street Scene Power Hour. We've got a lot to cover. Right, Larry?
Yes, sir. I'd like to welcome Al Navecki, a longtime friend and a bike builder, to the Armstrong Street Scene Power Hour. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
A little background. Yes. A little background on Al Navecki. As we grew the two-wheel Power Hour show on 570 WKBN, we reached out for different guests throughout the time and latched on to Al. And Al was called Al, the Gadget Guy Navecki. So if there was something new, the latest, the greatest innovation, Al had it on his bike. And the great thing about that is, after about 6 months, Al would sell it. So we all tried to get in line and get something, so maybe a new GPS, maybe it was a different camera setting. So that kind of worked out pretty good. And then I ended up getting my share of really cool things. But Al also has blossomed into quite the custom bike builder of some would say oddities, but little different types of bikes. And Al, let's start a little bit about your riding background and how you began motorcycling.
I got my first bike in 1974, a year after I got out of high school. Was going to buy a Suzuki 380 GT 380, but they couldn't get it in, and so a 72 550 was in the showroom. So I bought that, and that was my first bike that I rode for about 3 or 4 years before I went in the Air Force.
And speaking of the Air Force, that's where you also began a long-term relationship with your 650.
Correct. I bought my 650 brand new in Clovis, New Mexico in 1978, which I still own.
All right.
1978. And he's taken that bike into a bunch of different things. He's actually a show winner over in the Packard Museum.
Yes. Been there twice.
Good. I wanted to jump in here quick. John Kufleitner from, as you well know, Couffleitner Chrysler Jeep Dodge. He's just joined us. We wanted to welcome him real quick into here. Hi, John.
Welcome, John.
Thank you. I for some reason, I was having a hard time logging in. I changed my password this morning on my Yahoo account because I had somebody creeping on me, and I created all for myself. So I have my young son here. He straightened everything out.
No, see, it always takes a younger generation.
He's the vice president of the Couffleitner.
There you go. How you doing?
Tanner's he's my IT guy.
All right. Hang in there, John. We're going to get to you in a second. We got Al Navecki. He's a well-known motorcyclist here. So hang in there, John, just for a second. We'll get to you. And Larry, keep going.
All right, Al, over the years, you and I have done a lot of motorcycling together, and it always impressed me that as an average guy, not a guy that says, hey, I'm a custom bike builder or I'm a painter, or I'm this or that, but just Joe Average, the kind of guy that all of us are in the garage. You've turned into be quite the bike builder. I mean, you some what I would consider are oddities like the SR 500, but certainly not the XS 650. So tell us a little bit about how you got into selecting bikes and tearing them down and reworking them. I mean, the way you do your internet searches, I mean, this guy picks up parts from Taiwan, Malaysia, I mean, you name it. And it's pretty cool. This bike that he's showing right now is the bike that he bought brand new, 1974, 76?
Explain it for our podcasters here. So, yeah, what we're seeing, go ahead and explain it to us, Al.
I bought the bike, like I said, brand new. It was the first year the Yamaha specials came out with the pullback bars and all of that. And then it was parked for about 20 years and wanted to redo it. And I'd seen this kit, and basically what this is a clone of a Triumph Hurricane X75 that Craig Vetter built the tank and seats that flowed similar to this. And a guy from Wisconsin built this kit to go on a 650 Yamaha and, to make a clone of it. And that's what I started at. And just tore the bike completely down. That's what it looked like just before I stopped.
All right. Yeah, pretty basic Yamaha bike, black tank, black seat, just a basic ride. So
yeah, Midnight Blue. It was the first year of the specials, and I debated whether I wanted to go back to stock or do something else. Well, all the chrome was bad. It would have had to have been replaced or redone, and so I decided. And I'd seen this. What they call a storm kit. The guy up Phil Little Racing makes that fiberglass storm kit, and I had him do it, and then do it in the Triumph orange gel coat.
Okay.
And so I, tore the bike down and just started to go. And a lot of times I don't have a whole complete idea what I'm doing. I kind of go as I go. I build it, and then I see a part that I like, and I buy it, and you got to pay a lot of attention to detail, and like the chain on it is an orange chain. Everybody asks me how I painted the chain. I go, I didn't paint the chain. I bought it that way.
Yeah. And, you don't have to do that anymore.
Another unique thing about this bike is that if you know anything about 650 Triumphs and 650 Yamahas, they have a distinct sound. Their firing order is a little bit different. But Al managed to somehow get a hold of somebody and find out how to change the firing order, which means completely separating the crankshaft and rotating it into a 270-degree crank?
Yeah, 277. The typical Triumph and Yamahas were what was known as a 360 crankshaft, which meant both pistons went up and down at the same time, but they fired 360-degree off. And some people were doing the 270 or 277 cranks. That's basically how a 90-degree V-twin or a Ducati fires.
Okay.
And it has a very unique sound. Well, there's a guy in Asheville, North Carolina, that does the crank and camshafts. The crank is pretty easy. You pull it apart, and then you rotate the one flywheel, have 3 splines, and then you put it back together. And then he separates the cam, re-indexes it, and put it back 277, then you buy another exhaust. If you can go a true 270, which is 90 degree, but it's a lot more expensive. There's a guy that custom builds the crank pin, but he wants about $400 for the crank pin. Yeah. And then only one person makes it an ignition, and you put it back, and it just has a very, very unique, Ducati type sound. Mm-hmm. No performance. It kind of moves the vibration ranges and smooths it out a little bit, but it's just very unique and a very, very common thing with 650 builders.
Hold that thought there, Al. We're going to get back to you in just a second. We have a couple other, I think we have a couple other pictures to talk about, but as far as podcasts, we have John Kufleitner, coming in. You all know John Kufleitner. And you got to have the saying, John. What is your trademark?
Please remember, tell a friend.
There you go. If you can't, if you don't know that by now.
I'm trying to get my sons to perfect that. Tanner, can you tell them? Tanner, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Come on, perfect it for me. Say it a little better than me. And please remember, tell a friend. Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Yeah.
Remember to tell a friend.
Larry knows Tanner.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Burnout King Johnny.
So, John, I just want to get a brief history. John, it's been you've had your dealership, you've had, you were your humble beginnings. I started doing commercials for you when I worked at KBN way 20 some years ago. And I remember you coming in and
30 some years ago, bro.
Okay. But has it been that long? Because
1991 is when I broke into business.
Oh my God. So, give us a quick history of how you got started. If you don't know John Kufleitner, he's got this gorgeous dealership in Boardman, and he's got an awesome dealership in Columbiana as well. But the Boardman dealership, I mean, it's like a work of art when you come through there, and it's unbelievable. So give us a little history of how you got started in the business and what made you get into this? Because we have another angle as well, and you have a third dealership that we pretty much want to concentrate on as well.
Okay. All right. So, what's kind of crazy is, ironically, I was a shipbuilder once upon a time.
Really?
And, I'm a journeyman machinist. I started in the shipbuilding business, back home in Virginia. That job was the best job you could get, almost like General Motors in this market, right?
Yep.
Now, my family's from here. My family's been living in Salem, Ohio, for 104 years.
Oh, man.
So, but my father went in the military in the 50s. So I was born and raised in Virginia. My brother and my sister were born here, actually in Salem, Ohio. And I'm the first Southern born to my generation.
Wow.
So it's pretty crazy that I would find my way back home to Ohio. And I met my wife on vacation in Virginia Beach. And 1990, she was on spring break. She was a student at Mount Union. So I met her in Virginia Beach, and it was kind of crazy. It was like, where are you from? One of those kind of things. And it morphed into, oh shit, like, we're all from Salem, Ohio, right?
Yeah. And that's crazy.
It's God's intervention. We dated long distance for a year, and I packed up and moved, and I moved to Ohio, and I walked away from everything, all the good things in my life. I owned a home there. I was on the fast track to being the man in quick to management in my previous job. And I was going to college. They were picking up the tab for it. So I could go back. I always laugh about it. I always say, I'm going to go back to college and take basket weaving and bowling.
It was always a running joke. Yeah. It's like, what do you take? Basket weaving, underwater basket weaving.
All I need to get an engineering degree is basket weaving and bowling.
Yeah.
maybe one English.
Yeah.
No about English. So, so maybe I can't get a degree.
Hey, John, you were a model too, weren't you?
Well, yes, sir, I was. I'm still a model.
You're still a model?
You want me to take my shirt off?
No, yeah. This is a family show, John. No, it's not.
I'll keep my pants on. I'll take my shirt off if you like.
Shows you what you really think,
You know what's really crazy? So,
I shouldn't have said that.
Everybody knows Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mark, right? The underwear, right? So what's crazy and ironic is like back when he got the contract he was awarded whatever to be Marky Mark and to represent the underwear, I was in the running for that.
No.
He had a 6-pack, I had a 12-pack.
Oh yeah.
No, seriously, I carried a 12-pack with me everywhere I went.
Oh yeah. So you remind me. So it's like John Schneider when he signed up for the Dukes of Hazzard. He came busting in with a 6-pack of beer, and then getting that as far as his his audition, and he got the job.
That's a good old boy, right?
Yeah, he's a good old boy.
He never meant any harm.
Rick, you got a couple more questions, I know.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't remember now. Hey, John, you got what? You got Columbiana Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Salem Chrysler Jeep Dodge. How are those going for you? Pretty good.
Salem's done.
I had to sell Salem because.
Oh, you sold Salem? Okay.
I sold Salem, but I still had the classic car dealership in Salem.
Oh, yeah.
So you have two dealerships then?
So here's the deal. So Chrysler came to me many years ago, and they were like, listen, we want you to come back to Boardman. And, but in the Chrysler business or the new car franchise business, you cannot monopolize anything, right?
Yeah.
So you cannot have 3 contiguous markets. You can have 50 dealerships, but they can't be contiguous.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
And for the people that don't understand what that word means, it means you cannot have 3 connecting markets.
Yeah.
So Columbiana, Salem, and Boardman would have given me 3 connecting markets.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So Chrysler said, we're going to Boardman without you or with you.
Yeah.
You have to sell one of your dealerships. And I said, well, listen, I love Salem. It's in my DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
My family's been there for over 100 years. I don't think I can cut it loose. And I said, I'm never going to sell Columbiana because Columbiana is growing crazily, right? So they said, you either get on board with us, you're either on board, and if you're not, we're coming after you.
Wow. No kidding.
They said, you figure it out, right? Like, there's going to be a dealer in Boardman, and we don't think you have deep enough pockets to fight us, right? And they weren't very nice about it, and but at the same time, they made it crystal clear.
Yeah.
It's a fight you want to take on, right? So I said, well, if I'm going to sell one, it has to be Salem.
Yeah.
So I got a phone call. I got a phone call from a dealer that says, hey, John, blah, 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 blah. I didn't even know who I was talking to because I didn't recognize the number. And then he finally dropped one hint that, oh my God, now I know who I'm talking to. So he says, I want to buy the dealership from you. I want it bad. I want it more than anyone else, and I'll pay you more than it's worth.
Whoa. Well, okay. There you go then.
Yeah. Bingo.
I said, you made that pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping Columbiana and I'm going to Boardman.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Boardman came to be. And ironically, Salem is the surviving company in Boardman. We didn't kill the company. We just moved it.
Okay.
Salem still survives. It's still Salem Chrysler Jeep Dodge.
Yeah. Okay.
Doing business as, right? We changed the name and we moved it to Boardman.
Yeah. Because you know what? I remember this when I was doing commercials for basically all the car dealerships. They had Frederick Dodge, and I know they had a ton of problems trying to get property up there. And I'm like, they had some ordinance from the 1900s to say you can't build a car dealership here in some of the sections. I'm like, and then that went away, and I'm like, we heard you were coming, and it's like, wow. I mean, you built. Now, did Chrysler, have standards of what they wanted built, Chrysler Jeep Dodge, of what kind of building they wanted to have in Boardman?
They did, but I had the upper hand.
Okay.
Because I sold one, I dictated what the verbiage would be in the new agreement, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like it. And there was a gentleman that eventually moved on from Chrysler and moved on out. He left Chrysler, right?
Okay.
He worked his best deal.
Okay.
He worked his best deal with us and he moved on. And he no longer works for Chrysler.
Oh.
But he has become a Chrysler dealer in Chicago.
Oh. Okay.
So he was a smart guy. And he's a minority dealer.
Okay.
Yeah. John, I've got a question. For many, many years, the hallmark of our automobile dealerships in the area have been mostly locally owned, sometimes even family owned, like yourself, Fairway. But just recently, Taylor sold a couple of their dealerships to Gangley, which is a group out of Cleveland. And
deal.
I wanted to get your thoughts on that, and where we've got somebody that has a large amount of dealerships in Cleveland now moving into the Youngstown market.
Well, I'll tell you this, first of all, I know Ganley personally.
Mm-hmm.
He's a phenomenal person, right?
Good.
And he is a phenomenal businessman. And he's a billionaire. I didn't say a millionaire. I said billionaire.
Billion with a B.
With a B, right? Yes.
With a B.
I knew you'd know him. You billionaires, no billionaires.
And listen, and we've had many conversations. And as a matter of fact, we had coffee last week.
Okay.
because, he drove past my dealership and he goes, I had no idea. And I was like, Ken, stop. You had an idea, buddy.
You had every idea, right?
Yeah. Right. Like, who I am, right? And you know what we've accomplished in the last few years. We've been the number one Chrysler Jeep Dodge dealer 24 out of the last 28 months in the Cleveland Outstate.
There you go.
Wow.
And this is a brand new, now think about this, guys. This is a brand new startup point, right?
Yeah.
And he paid me a nice compliment. He goes, John, listen, I have many dealerships. He has many dealerships. And he goes, what you've accomplished is unbelievable. He goes, I've tried it. I've done it. I've never to the level of success that where you are right now. And I'm like, hey, Ken, first of all, don't count yourself short. You're a freaking great dealer, right?
Yeah.
And he's a really neat guy.
Yeah.
So Larry, back to you. I think Ken will represent the market well. I think he's a really super guy. He's not just about making money. He's really, what's funny is, like most of us, we all have a fair amount of ego. We wouldn't be on, all of us wouldn't be on this podcast together, right? We'd all be like, whatever. I don't want to go there. We'd be like Rick Guerrero,
Yeah. You don't have an ego at all, right?
Oh, no ego, right?
Hey, Rick,
Not at all.
Rick, I'm digging all those. They're not hubcaps, but what do we call it?
Covers or covers, yeah. I was telling you guys before.
Listen, I've got about 300 of those. I bet I have a couple you don't have. So I'm going to have to donate a couple to your board.
Oh my goodness!
This is just a photo. That's all.
I was going to say, because I have like a gazillion of those that if you don't have one, I want to help you broaden your horizons.
Okay.
We're always looking to broaden our horizons here.
But I'll tell you guys, hey Larry, go back to that. Ken Ganley is a great guy. He's a great dealer. He's a great person. I mean, he's a great family man. I think he's going to be good for the market. And if he's watching this, hey, Ken, my dealerships are for sale. If you want to pay way too much, I'll work for you. Ken, I'll be your best car salesman ever.
Everything's for sale at the right price, correct?
Listen,
sure.
Listen, yes, sir. I had one of my salespeople reach out to me and said, the rumor on the street is that you met with Ken Ganley and you're selling to him. I said, first of all, let's be honest. At the right number, everything on this planet, everything in this world is for sale.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
For me not to say that would be a statement. Now, yeah, we've met and we had conversation and coffee and stuff like that, but it's car guys, good car guys. We like to hang out with good car guys and just visit, talk about family and talk about cars and talk about the future, talk about the past, and just,
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, John, on this side of the border, we have Deal buying everything up. You know that?
Well, listen, I can tell you this. Deal owns my old Salem dealership.
Oh, okay.
He owns what?
Deal owns my old dealership in Salem because I sold to Wally Armour.
Okay.
That's right.
Deal's already sold to Spitzer.
Okay.
They want out of this market.
He bought out Taylor over here in Hermitage. He bought the Kia. And then he bought Preston out also, the Ford and the Kia. And but he's buying everything.
Well, they bought the dealership.
GM.
Listen, they bought the dealership in Salem, and they want the hell out.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah.
They're like, we don't think that was a good deal for us.
No.
But it's not them. It's not him. It's Karina. Actually, the dealer is a woman. And listen, I'll tell you, Karina is a badass. She's a great car dealer.
Yeah. Okay.
But they want out. But I say that with love and respect. I'm just being silly and having fun. But they want out of Salem.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got a lot of dealerships. Go ahead.
The dealership has been sold in Salem.
Okay.
He's got a lot of dealerships around. He's got a lot of dealerships around Newcastle and I think the Pittsburgh area also, right?
They're Pittsburgh-based dealers. And Karina's husband died a few years ago. He was a phenomenal dealer.
Okay.
And
she took over.
And her son is a good dealer as well.
All right. We have I got one question. We'll get back to Al in a little bit, and we'll go back and forth here. John, and I think Rick had this down as well. You know, COVID is completely changed everything. And, you know, we saw when you drive down the road, when COVID hit, the car dealerships kind of started spreading their inventory out to make the lot look full. How has that affected? Yeah. How has that affected your business? And how is it still affecting your business?
Well, if you drive past my dealership, you'll notice I have more than most, right?
Yes, you do. And I can say one dealership that I keep an eye on that has about 5 vehicles in their lot all the time. And I'm like, how do they even stay competitive is the question. And I think you know which one I'm talking about. I'm not mentioning any names on this show, but you know the one that I'm mentioning. But, you know, how has it affected your business?
Well, you know, what's kind of funny is, like I said, you know, luckily, listen, when things get bad, listen, you better get creative and think outside the box, right? Mm-hmm. So we've made the Couffleitner Automotive Group, we made a bunch of deals with upfitters and suppliers. And so we committed to 500 Ram trucks, wall duct trucks that are upfitted in Minnesota, right? Mm-hmm. So Chrysler or Stellantis now is our parent company. Stellantis, Ford, Chevrolet, General Motors, whatever, however you want to say it. We all have deals with our vendors, right? So you guys have heard of Rocky Ridge, right?
Yeah.
Black Widow, all these other little upfitters, whatever. So we made a deal with a dealer in Minnesota about 2.5 years ago. And we committed to all their trucks for the next 5 years.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Now this, right? Mm-hmm. All the Ram like ProMasters. So we're doing like the 10, 12, 15 passenger Ram or ProMasters. We committed to all of them. So they don't have to worry about who they're going to sell them to, right?
Okay.
So they know it's a special deal. And we're doing the Ram 1500 trucks. We do a real reasonable, not a crazy, like lift kit, wheels and tires, tonneau cover, like all kinds of like little things that like off-road packages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right? And with the 3/4 and 1 tons, we committed to other things bigger, like somewhere between a $5,000 and $15,000 upgrades.
Yeah.
Depending on how much stuff you want. You want steel bumpers, you want winches, you want bed covers, you want like camping packages, all kinds of crazy stuff, right?
Okay.
And that's given us the edge. When other dealers are out of inventory, like right now, we have almost 300 new Rams on the ground.
And that's amazing because, you know, I'm sure that even getting parts for your repair end of it has been a challenge as well.
Absolutely. That's truly a problem. Seriously. I have like Dickey Electric right now is waiting for a transmission since April. And I'm begging the factory. I'm like, are you kidding me? First of all, they're a great customer for us, right?
Yeah.
And we love them. And they have a fleet of Ram trucks. Get them their damn transmission. This is ridiculous. You're building new trucks every day. You need to get them their transmission and get them back on the road.
Yeah, I get
that's the problem. I have to fight with the guys. I mean, to the point of where I have to be really nasty.
Yeah, and you know what? It's I know it's not only a problem with just the Chrysler dealerships, GM, Ford. Here at Armstrong, we've ordered brand new. They get Ford vehicles. We ordered.
Is Ford still in business?
Yeah, that's about it because we ordered 275 vehicles for the company and we got 2. That's it. So, you know, they're like, love your truck, treat your truck, kiss your truck goodnight because you're going to have it for a while.
Listen, guys, here's the greatest problem in the car business right now. Because we all want to be good people, right?
Yep.
We want to be good business people. We want to be good people, right? Like, so if Larry Ward comes to me and says, honey, first of all, Larry's not a customer, okay? He's not a guy that I know, okay? Larry's a guy that I love. He's my friend, okay? So if he comes here looking to buy a new truck, you think I'm going to whack him? You think I'm going to sell him a car or a truck for $3,000 over a window sticker because I can.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people doing that right now.
Yes, there are.
Damn right
Yep.
there is. But I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy, right? So I'm never going to do that to him, right? So what's happening is so many of those dealers are doing that, and it's so short-sighted in their way of thinking because, listen, dealers are not going to have the upper hand forever, right?
No.
So you're
Right,
losing your
right.
business model, right? Why
That's
would
going
I
to bite them in the ass. Yeah.
You damn right it is.
Mhm.
Why would you come buy a car? Why would Larry come buy a car for me 4 years from now when I whack him when I could?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People remember that and word gets around. So
You damn right.
yeah.
Hey, Larry. Larry's a motorcycle guy, right?
Like to think so.
1998. I ordered a new Road King Classic from Youngstown Harley.
okay. Yep.
Remember when Rob Bidas was general manager?
Oh yeah, sure.
Well, then, things changed and he was let go, right? Or something happened. He moved on to brighter horizon. So my Road King Classic was supposed to land the first week in May. 2003.
Okay.
So he was let go. So I went down in mid-April and I said, hey guys, what's going on with my bike? And they were like, the new general manager, first of all, he made me stand in the showroom for an hour and a half before he would come and walk over and talk to me. I thought, first of all, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And so finally, he's like, this guy's not going away. I'm going to have to talk to him. So I said, hey, listen, you're right. First of all, hey, how you doing? I'm John Kufleitner, whatever. I've got a bike order. Rob Bidas is my buddy. And he's like, I said, I want to know what's going on with my Road King, when it's going to land. He goes, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh,
He goes,
no.
he goes,
No.
he goes, you have a copy of the receipt? He goes, do you have a copy of the buyer's order? Did you put a down payment on it? I said, well, Rob and I have been friends for 15 years. He didn't ask for one. If he had asked for a deposit, I'd have given him one. It was a handshake deal.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay. Well, first of all, we don't have a rich luxury red Road King Classic coming in. First week of May. It's like, no. I said, I saw it. He showed me on your piece of paper. It shows you all your bikes that are going to land. So he was like, nah. So he called me a week later. He goes, hey, I got some great news. I said, all right, great. What's up? He goes, we have a rich luxury red Road King Classic going to land the second week of May. I said, all right, fabulous, man. That's my bike. Obviously, it's a week out. No problem. He goes, oh, no. That one's $2,500 over window sticker.
Oh, geez.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the God's honest truth.
Oh.
I said, listen here. Am I allowed to swear on a podcast?
No, but who cares?
It's not appropriate, right? I said, how about you kiss my behind?
Yeah.
I said, listen. I said, I'm a businessman. That's the wrong way to do business.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to tell everybody who's willing to listen to my story. And 20 years later, I still have heartburn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to Street Track and Trail and bought a new Harley.
Yeah. I don't blame
I
you.
told them the story. That's what they did. They
Dick
said,
Lefley.
we're sorry that happened to you. We'll give you $500 discount. I said, no, I'll pay window sticker. I know what the market is. The market is window sticker. They said, no, we're not going to charge you window sticker. $500 discount.
That's Dick Lefley Dick at that time. Now his sons run it, but he's a good guy. Old Dick's a good motorcyclist, boy. All right, we're going to head back to Al for a minute.
Yep. John, hang in there a minute. We're going to talk about
we got a
your
lot
Galleria.
of questions for you.
And your family getting involved with this. So hang in there.
Is it okay if I take a moment to pour bourbon?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, but you didn't bring us any. What's wrong with that?
Give me one.
Larry, are you and Boardman? You want to sneak over and have a cocktail with me?
Oh man, Burnout King, you name it.
I see it in the background on your desk there, John. I was eyeing it.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, yeah, there we go. Hang in there, John. Al, we're going to get back to you right now. I'm going to throw up a picture. And, Larry, if you want to expound on this one, and
sure.
Al, of course, with this one, right there you go. It's explain a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is a rare bike. Go ahead, Al. Tell them a little bit about where you got it.
Well, that's a one of a kind. You'll never see another one like it. It started out as a very, very bad, sat outside for 3 or 4 years, basket case, Yamaha SR 500. And I'd been wanting to build a single cylinder British style 60 scrambler. And that's what I started out with this bike. I found it on eBay down in West Virginia. I drove down there and picked it up, paid $300 for it. And like I said, it was a total piece of junk. But, and then so I started working on it, started doing this and that. And it just kept evolving. I, originally just had the spoke wheels and some of the other, parts. It wasn't a very popular bike in the States. The SR wasn't. The XT and the TT was, but the SR was only built for 3 years. So there was no aftermarket stuff available for it here in the States. All the shiny bits that you see on there, they all came from 2 different manufacturers in Thailand.
I was going to say the tank. I love the tank on it.
That was made in Thailand by Omega Racer, the same people that built the exhaust. Those are all hand built, welded tanks. They make about a half a dozen different ones. That's called the bean tank, and that just happened to be the one that I liked. And I originally was going to build it to be able to do some a little bit of off-road or reliability runs at the BSA meet. But then by the time I got it all done and was going to do it, my buddies were like, "No, you can't take this thing and go out and get it dirty." So I didn't. So, that was just, what I had, a theme that what I wanted to do. And I just kept researching where I could get parts and stuff. And I would see this fancy thing and like the swing arm, I put an aluminum swing arm on it. That's all, welded up, and the tank and stainless steel fenders. But the only thing that's stock is the motor and the front end. Everything else is something's been done to it.
All right.
Al, what advice, Al, would you give us backyard garage guys looking to do something like that? Everybody I know, especially the guys that are failures in this stuff, we get these grandiose ideas. You're the one guy that can take an oddball, and don't take that disrespectful, but an oddity like an SR 500 and turn it into a thing of beauty. I think the biggest challenge is to pick a bike that's very popular for your first time out. That way you got parts, you got resources, stuff like that. But what advice would you give for people, because you got into painting, you laced the wheels yourself, wiring, everything,
Yeah, if you bring up the picture of what it looked like, it had mag wheels, but research. Google is your friend. Google and YouTube are your friend.
I'm not sure if that's the one you're looking at, or...
Yeah, that's what that bike looked like when I picked it up.
Okay,
exactly like that outside.
For podcasters, it's just a basic Yamaha rusty tank, got a dent in it. It's got mag wheels on it.
500 single kickstart. They made an XT and a TT version. The XT was an on-off road, and the TT was strictly road. They built those for about 10 years. They only built this model in the States for 3, but in Thailand and that part of the world, they still make the 400 version of this, and this was a super, super popular, and that's why you could get fancy bits for it over there. But I just start. First thing I do is I completely tear it down, and you got to go out and buy yourself a box of quart and gallon Ziploc bags. And as you take everything apart, put every part in a bag and mark it. Whether you break it,
baby. Yeah.
Whether that part is junk, good, whatever, keep it, because you're going to need to replace it, and you're going to need to know what it looks like. And mark and tag it, and take lots of photos.
Yep.
And then I strip them completely down to every nut and bolt, and then either paint the frame or powder coat it, and then just I get a manual so I know how to put stuff together. Your biggest thing is get a parts manual, because a parts manual is going to show you how everything goes back together. Because I tell you what, you take it apart 10 months later, you're not going to know how to put it together.
And the most frustrating thing is when you take apart. Yeah, when you have that whole parts manual, you're missing the dang washer in the middle of it. It's going, I know I had it. Damn, what do I do with it?
That's why I put everything in Ziploc bags, whether it's junk, good, or whatever, And like me, I have a complete stock of 6, 8, and 10 millimeter nuts, bolts, washers. I probably have $300 inventory of stainless steel nuts and screws.
And while you're talking, I'm going to go flip through some of these pictures real quick. We're getting low on time. We do want to get back to John too. We want to get all the questions in that Larry's got for you as well.
Okay. So I think, and not only does Al, talk a little bit about this one, because this one turned out to be okay.
1971 Kawasaki F6 125. I decided I wanted to get something like this to do the reliability run at the BSA meet, and I bought two of them. One had a title, one didn't. They were both junk, and this was before I got the tank decals on it. This is the first bike that I actually painted with a gun myself in 40 years. Prior to that, a friend of mine did all my painting, but now I'm at the point where I'm doing everything. I'm gonna, this was a base coat, clear coat paint job. Turned out reasonably well. There's a few imperfections there, but I was really, really happy with it. And like I said, I'm having carburetor issues with it, but that was another frame up. And I took it on the reliability run and made it about 15 minutes, and the carburetor went wacky on me. And so now it's back in the garage and put it back till spring, and then figure out what the heck's going on with it.
Exactly. So, any last questions for Al? And Al, stick around, please, because we've got.
Al's got a big ride coming up here. Why don't you briefly tell us about where you and Dave are going to be going?
Okay, well, we're all going. There's a bunch of us going down to Barber Motorsports for their vintage days. Big swap meet. A lot of bikes, a lot of big money bikes, racing. Barber has got probably the premier motorcycle museum in the country. He has, I think, maybe 1,000 plus bikes on display and another couple thousand in the back. It's a premier place, premier road track. We've been going there for about 10 years, and we'll be leaving Wednesday, Thursday next week to head down there. Like I said, we were going to leave this week like you guys were and head down to Maggie Valley, but with the storm coming up, we're not. So, but yeah, we're
we should explain that Barber Motorsports is part of, it's in Leeds, Alabama, which is about maybe 15 miles west of Birmingham, Alabama. And I'll be heading down there with Kenny, and I don't know if I'll take the Harley or maybe this BMW I'm going to buy, but I'll see you guys down there. And certainly that's a good trip and a good ride. And it's probably about 700 or 800 miles one way.
Yeah, it's like 830, 840 one way. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. And I'm hoping not to have to make it in one, John, but depends on what the riding partner Kenny wants to do, I suppose.
Yeah.
And you know what, I have to say, I want to leave one last thought with you, Al, is, I backed into my son's driver's door in his Mustang and completely caved it in. So, I'm spending my time.
He kicked your butt. He should have kicked your butt. Yeah.
Oh, he about did kick my ass because,
if he would have did that to your car, what would you have done?
Kicked his ass.
Yes, you would have.
But I've been I said, it's a beauty of wet sanding. I just base cleared his door, did the body work on it on a new one, and it's, finally got it. But the beauty of wet sanding, because I sprayed it outside and I got a damn bug right in the middle of it. So I had to touch that up. Beauty of wet sanding. That's all I have to say.
I'll tell you, Al, if you would see what Greg has done with a couple of historic Beetles. He's got one that's Herbie, like the movie Beetle. And then he's got a 61 that's red. And they'll tell you what, they were damn nice Beetles up at the show up in Geneva on the lake. And I'll tell you what, just so you two guys ought to get together sometime. I think you'd enjoy talking to each other.
Yeah, I love painting. I just love doing it. So
here's what you need for bugs. It's called the nib file.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you ever heard of one of them? They work great for dust and dirt. It's just a little file, and you put it on the paint and just take that, take it down, especially the clear coat or whatever. And it's just got fine grooves. And then once you're done, then you just take a buffer and buff it back.
Yeah, I was MFing the whole thing yesterday trying to get that touch up that bug.
Yeah. Amazon, well, that'll teach you.
Get them for $15 on Amazon.
Well, now I know.
They work great.
They say you learn something every day, And speaking of restoring cars, John John, you got into a different end of it, and I want to know how you got in it. Tell us a little about the John Kufleitner gallery of classic and pristine vehicles. Have I got that one right or not?
Actually, it's John Kufleitner's gallery of vintage classic.
That vintage, I knew it. See, I had to screw up something in this, podcast.
How come Street Scene hasn't been invited?
I don't want to be critical, but you screwed up many times, but it's all good.
Yeah, I know
John,
that.
How come Street Scene? How come we haven't been invited down there yet?
Does that stop me from getting re-invited back to another podcast?
Wait a minute. Let's see. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. There's something that you have to fill these things. Oh, wait a minute. There's $1 in that. So.
Boy, did you notice there was $1 in there? That was
there was $1. That's all I have.
I can't believe Street Scene hasn't been invited down to that gallery yet. You know
what's kind of funny is, so you know how we have the restoration business. We have cars. So the Galleria sells cars, and then we have a restoration shop there as well, which is really fun. We don't make any money there, but we're building some badass cars.
Oh, that's
I wish I could show you a picture of one we just finished. It's a '69 Dodge Daytona, spring green with a white tail. It's actually the vehicle that was showcased at the Playboy Mansion in 1969.
No kidding.
It was a California fire car. Car burned to the freaking ground. Now we had to sub body the car. We had to buy another car. And I have
the VinTech.
I mean, yeah.
That's all you need.
What's funny is, I always think it's funny that the people that question you and call you out and try to make you out to be an asshole when you try to save a car. I'm like, show me your cars.
Yeah.
You're like God, right? You're going to question everybody. But let's be honest. If you're driving down the road in a '69 Yanko and someone runs into you, knocks the ass in off the car, and you fix it, would it no longer be a Yanko?
It's always a Yanko.
Always a Yanko. Yep.
Isn't that funny how people question the integrity of the car?
I don't even listen to people like that anymore. You can always critique a car. You can go up and sit there and nitpick at it all you want, but it's not their car. Who cares?
It all comes down to the provenance of the vehicle. The history, the build tags.
That's exactly right. You got a documentation. The car is what it is, right?
Yep.
Hey, John, what do you have in your personal Corral?
So, what's ironic is I'm a Chrysler dealer, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Cadillac man.
No kidding.
Okay.
So I love this show because we peg people out on what their interests are. So you're a Cadillac guy.
Well, listen, you are what you are. I was born and raised Chevrolet, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We all know that the process of being a Chevrolet guy. So if things go well in your life, you buy a new Chevrolet, right?
Yeah. Okay.
If things get better and better and better, you buy a Buick, maybe an Oldsmobile, right? When things are really going well, you buy a Cadillac, right?
That's
exactly.
When you're on top of the world, maybe you buy a new Corvette and your wife drives a Cadillac.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think of those new black wings? Did you ever see those black wing Cadillacs?
I love it. I love the black wing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that's the GM mentality, right?
Yeah.
If I was born and raised Chevrolet, my daddy was a Chevy guy, right? So I got Chevrolets. I'm a kind of a crazy guy in my personal collection. I collect what I love.
Yeah.
So I have a '64 Jaguar,
nice
XK convertible.
XK, yeah.
Enzo Ferrero said that was the most beautiful car ever built ever.
Yeah,
that's why he modeled his Enzo modeled his Ferraris after that '64 Jag. So I have a '64 Jag. I have a '56 Mercedes 190 SL convertible. I have 257 Barrettes, Cadillac Barrettes, Eldorado convertibles.
Big.
You like the convertibles, huh?
I'm a ragtop man.
Yeah, there you go.
Me too. I like
my 58 belonged to Rita Hayworth. One of my 57s belonged to Art Linkletter.
Oh, jeez.
I collect everything I love. So I have a '69 Indianapolis 500 pace car convertible. Camaro.
Okay. Is it white? Is it the white with the orange?
That's
White,
the pace
orange
car,
stripes,
yeah.
right, and orange houndstooth interior, right?
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What else? I love a Corvette, so I have a 54 Corvette convertible. I have a 66 427
Ooh.
450 horsepower car.
Yeah.
I just have stuff that I love, right?
That's the whole
That's
key of
what
this.
you got to do, sure.
Shelby. How about this? I have a Shelby GT500 KR
Yeah.
that I bought here in Boardman. You know the right up on Market Street, the what is that? The little hamburger joint up on Market Street.
McDonald's?
No.
Oh. Not Five Guys, not
It's from the old days. It's off Cadillac. I bought the car off Cadillac Drive, right behind Cadillac Drive. What's the little place there?
oh my God, that's gonna drive me insane. Anyway, we'll think of it later.
So I bought a GT500 Mustang, GT500 KR.
Yeah.
It's the most.
That sounds like a Mike Hudak car.
No, Mike Hudak said, you know what I called Mike Hudak when I bought the car. You know what he said? He inspected it. He goes, Johnny, the best body I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
Really?
He said, don't you over restore it.
Yeah. Leave it alone.
He said it still had the drips on the bottom of the body.
Then leave it be. Yeah, these people get too perfection.
Wow.
I'm sure you've run into that at your restoration shop too. You know, how far is too far in restoring a car?
Yeah, for sure. But listen, you know, I love cars, and the restoration shop is my, that's where my heart is, and the new car dealerships are fun, and that's where we make all the money. But I love the restoration shop, and the Galleria doesn't make me a dime.
It's the joy of it.
I love it. I love it.
I want to interject real quick. If you haven't been to the Galleria, it's something just to walk into and walk through what he finds or what he gets into the dealership, because they are some really, really nice cars. And it's just it's like an outing. You know, you walk in, it's like, I'm just here to look because they're gorgeous cars.
We haven't been invited down there yet, Greg? Huh?
Come on, let's go. Come on, guys.
There we go. Now we got one.
Yes, we have to invite ourselves.
Well,
hey,
I'll
John,
tell you what.
Let me tell you the current projects we're working on. You guys ready for this?
Yep.
So, like I said, I'm a Chevy guy, right? So we're building a 1934 aluminum body Rolls-Royce.
Ooh.
Oh, you're building one.
It's a Solcheck body. Okay. So I have the documentation. So in 1934, you know what the deposit was on the chassis in 1934?
I can't imagine.
15 grand.
$25,000.
Wow.
25.
Back then, that's $1 million.
The Solcheck body is the company that made it, right? Solcheck. Right, made the body.
So it was 200. First of all, it was 25 grand for the chassis, right? And then it was another $40,000 for the body.
Okay.
Wow. So they were over $600,000 for that car in 1934. What's that in today's dollars?
Yeah, that's millions and millions and millions. It's terrible.
Like a Bugatti or something, yeah.
So we're building. So it's a one of one, right? It was built for the Hennessy Cognac family.
Okay.
Okay. So.
The Hennessy Cognac family. I like that stuff.
So, yeah, everyone. Right. or hey guys, or bourbon.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay.
Or scotch or whiskey.
So we're building a 1934 Lincoln right now.
Good,
and
nice.
We just finished the Daytona. We're building a 46 Dodge Power Wagon.
Oh, there you go. Stop right there. I love those dang Power Wagons. Those old, the 40s Power Wagons.
Those are tanks, boy.
Oh, God.
Aren't they awesome?
Yeah, those set the bar to me. I mean, I remember seeing those when I was a kid, sitting in fields, and now love to go back and grab one of those.
Didn't we interview that one guy down in New Springfield last year in that Power Wagon?
Yeah.
Was it early 40s, 42, 43, something like that?
It was a beast. It was just a beast.
You guys, have you ever had my buddy Don Snyder?
Oh,
gosh, yeah.
Don is awesome. We have been out to his place for 3 different shows. For Doc, and we just had Don on, and he had a story about a car that you sold him. And what was it, the Lamborghini? There you go. I knew it.
Sold Don so much cool stuff, it's insane.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he had a good story about that one.
True, he's a true car guy.
Yes, he is.
Doc and Don are, you know what?
Yeah.
Taking money and everything else outside of it. Those guys are car addicts, man.
Yeah.
And I love them both. And, you know, I have, by the way, guys, if you get bored on Saturday mornings, Trey and I, we have breakfast every Saturday. We call it the Breakfast Club.
Yep.
And we're looking to expand it.
Well, there you go.
Good car guys. Just want to get together and just visit, right? So
sure.
We get in the car every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. And we drive to wherever we drive, to Akron, Canton, Pennsylvania.
Jeez.
The problem is nobody wants to open up their damn restaurants.
Oh, they beat on their windows.
Like, let us in, damn it, let us in.
We're hungry, damn it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We're trying to put a deal together. We just want to get a bunch of car guys together. I even said to Mr. Moransky, I'd like, listen, open up the Lake Club for a Saturday morning breakfast, and I don't care what you charge. Charge is way too much. Just get a bunch of great guys together so we can just break bread and enjoy each other's company, talk cars and tell a bunch of lies.
That's what we're good at. You know,
Larry likes to tell lies. Larry's a liar.
Hey, Larry, you liar. Yeah, we're all that way.
He tells everybody he's fast on the motorcycle.
This is very fast. And he says it never breaks either.
He calls it the power hour. I call it the Larry kind of slower hour.
Yeah, Larry's pretty fast. He's got more guts than I do on a motorcycle. I can't go over 30 without laying a load on the floor, you know. So I got one. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay. Hey, John, I got a nice question for you here. It's a modern question, okay? Dodge is discontinuing muscle cars this year. It's the Challenger and the Charger, and they're going to stop making them in December of 23. Dodge's lineup next year will feature special edition ones, and they're going to call it limited call. Do you know anything about that? Or last call, rather. Do you know much about that?
The last call, supposedly the last call are the last 7 models they're going to build for us, right?
Yeah, they're going to put a plaque underneath the hood or something, right? Is that what it is?
Yes, sir. You know what's going to do for me, John Kufleitner, personally? It's going to alienate a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants one.
Because I have so many friends, right? Like, personally, I want one for myself, right?
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? I'm probably not going to get one. You know why? Because I owe one to Trey Snyder. I owe one to Carl Rossler.
Rossler. We just talked to him.
I owe one to Bobby Frederick.
Yep.
How many are they going to make, John?
I owe one to Lee Hartman.
How many are they going to make?
Yep. So there goes your 7, right?
Those are real. No. There's 7 models.
Okay.
Yeah, they got the Demon, the Hellcat, the Red Eye.
All these guys want one of each, right? These are real car guys that deserve them. So my thing is this: like I said, I'm going to lose friends over this thing because I have to decide. You know, let me tell you this: I love Carl Rossler. Carl's number 1 on the list.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. Because I already backdoored him on a Demon.
Oh.
I promised him a Demon, and I couldn't deliver. I didn't mean to. Chrysler backdoored me, right?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you give one to Carl Rossler? Are you kidding me? Right?
Yeah. Well,
he's the man.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
So,
he is.
John, they're going to make the Demon, the Hellcat, the Red Eye, the Scat Pack, the Shaker, the Shaker, the Jailbreak, and the 7th one. They didn't announce it. What's the 7th one? You know?
I don't. No, listen. They keep us in the dark. You know why?
Yeah.
They don't want us to know.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everybody's in the dark.
That's a corporation for you there. Keep you in the dark.
Yeah. How many of those are they going to make? You know,
my guess is somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 of each model.
Okay.
On each model. Okay.
Now, each of the last 7.
You know, your thoughts on going all electric. Again, I'll be honest with my thoughts. I hate it.
Electric is the stupidest thing in the world.
Okay, my thoughts on that, I can't stand it because you still got to manufacture the electricity.
Hold on for a second. I'm going to bring Ron Verb into this conversation.
Oh my God! We gotta keep the politics out of this one because we lose friends either way.
Right.
We're running out of time. I got one question for Al, and I got one question for John. Al, I hit everybody with this question. Your dream car, motorcycle. What do you want?
Ducati.
A Ducati. There you go.
Oh yeah.
A Ducati.
Why would you want that?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Why
just
would
always,
you want
you know. I had
Let's go real fast. You can get everybody's ready.
Okay, Ducati for Al.
Larry,
All
go
right,
ahead.
John, you're next.
I own my dream car.
And what is that?
I own it 3 times over.
Okay. What is it?
57 Eldorado Brits convertible and a 58 Eldorado Brits convertible.
Okay.
Good one.
And those are big, those are huge cars and they float down the road and they're awesome.
And listen, at their time, they were the most expensive cars money could buy. They were more expensive than a Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, I believe it. Yes, they were.
Hey, John, before we get out of here, we know a lot about you now with your background in modeling and shipbuilding in the cars and everything, but you're hugely into charities too, all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You're into what? Not big time with the United Way and
Nice.
autism ones, charities. You got a couple kids that are autistic and you're really big into that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I thought I'd throw that in there because a lot of people might not know that.
That is the backbone of any organization. You got to give back to the community. I mean, even here at Armstrong, that's what our goal is, to give back to communities. And John does that as well.
So here's my deal, guys. Everybody knows by now I have 2 autistic sons, right?
Yes.
Right. So that's my really go-to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's the bottom line. Listen, I'm never going to spend the money that I already have. I don't need any more money. That's an arrogant thing to say, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing.
You're a blessed. That's a blessed thing to say because that's one less.
But guess what I'm going to do with my money, guys?
Yep.
I'm going to make the lives of so many people better.
Good.
Every chance I get. Every day. Listen, I gave $12,000 away yesterday.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what I'm going to give away tomorrow, but let me tell you this, guys. Every chance I get to make people's lives better, I'm going to do it.
And that is that's part of life. I mean, we can get into a deep conversation on that, but that you got to make somebody else's life better. And that's what you got to do. And,
damn right. Listen, God has given me more than I deserve, more than I need. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be those, like an NFL football player says all that goofy shit, right, that they don't really mean. I'm telling you guys, listen, where I am in my life right now, my life truly, and listen, and I'm going to lean on you guys because I want to come back here, right? And I want you guys to help me do some fundraising. Mr. Moransky and I and my wife and his daughter and a couple other friends and partners are going to build a retirement community for adults with special needs. And we're going to need the help and support of everyone in Youngstown to help us make it happen. But we're going to make it happen.
Yep.
And it's going to be the most spectacular thing any of us ever done with our life. That's what we're really all about, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are going to hear about it real soon.
Okay.
Good.
We just nailed down the property and 61 acres, and we're going to build a community that it's a retirement community for. It can't just be about people with autism because that's not fair. It's going to be about a retirement community for people with special needs.
Yes.
And that will be John Kufleitner's.
There you go. Hats off to the community then. There you go.
So, and Mr. Moransky's as well. And I told him that. He's a good personal friend of mine.
Yes.
And we're going to do great things together. And that's going to be our icing on the cake.
There you go. We're going to wrap up the street. Go ahead, Rick. You got one more thing?
Yeah, one more thing, John. I want to come over and drink some bourbon with you.
Come on, man. Listen,
That is a Rick thing to say for the end of the podcast.
listen. We only drink Pappy Van Winkle. Is that okay?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yep.
You know what? We'd love to have you both back on a future episode of Street Scene Power. We've got a ton more to talk about. Hours go quick, so we only had 1 hour for this one. John, we'd love to welcome you back. Al, we want to have you back.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Street Scene Power Hour. Remember, hit up John Kufleitner at John Kufleitner Chrysler Jeep Dodge in Boardman in Columbiana. Al, you're an awesome restorer. Those bikes are incredible. For Rick Guerrera, Larry Ward, my name is Greg Roten. We will see